Good morning and welcome back to Wishwell Farms, everybody. My name is Jason. I'm actually not on my Ohio farm today. I've been traveling through Pennsylvania doing some backpacking, and I always like to visit some other fruit and vegetable growers during my travels. And today we are visiting Broyans Farm. Logan is expecting me. Let's go see if we can find him. He's going to take us on a little bit of a farm tour, learn about some of their farm history, and we're going to get to do some harvesting. Thanks for joining me. All right, I found Logan here. We're at their farm market. He's going to tell us a little bit about everything that goes on here, a little bit of the history of this market. How long has this been here?
Well, we used to have a smaller market we would rent the property off of about a mile down the road. And then probably, I think around 15 years ago, my parents decided to build this. And we've been here ever since.
Okay.
Bought the property next door, was a trailer. We ended up taking that down last year. And hopefully, in the near future, we're going to be expanding into there. We need a bigger baking area, so that's the whole reason for that. But other than that, we're open all year round. Okay. Basically, we start out in the beginning of the season with flowers, then we move into all the early season veggies, right into fall, and then over the winter, we just have pumpkins, squash, and just a lot of baked goods, stuff like that.
Do you guys have like a commercial kitchen in here? Certified commercial kitchen? Let me turn around here and get the light right. The sun's kind of on the other side.
Yes, my mom has the like all the certifications to be able to serve, you know, baked goods, hoagies, all that kind of stuff. That's the whole problem, is our kitchen is just very small, so we're trying to expand. Okay. And that way we can make more and do more.
Well, obviously you're decked out with pumpkins because we're in the middle of pumpkin season.
What's that? Not yet, but we're getting ready to.
Talk to the customers first.
Yeah, it's getting near.
So one thing I was hoping we would be able to do while I was here is harvest some potatoes, because that is something I have never done. I've never seen done, but I think it's going to be a little muddy out.
It is.
It's pretty sticky. We've had quite a bit of rain over the last few days.
Couldn't get any rain all summer long, and now we get rain every day.
Yeah, we've both been in pretty serious drought conditions throughout the summer, but now we're sitting good. But here we are at the end of the season, and it's a little bit late. Yeah, it is what it is. So I see you have a little greenhouse here, right beside your farm market. Yeah, is this for starting certain things?
This isn't for starting anything. We have the greenhouses back on the farm. We start everything, and then we just bring it out here and then sell it.
So kind of a sales greenhouse.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, let's walk inside the market and see what we got going on in here.
All of our pumpkins are down right now. We're going to hopefully be filling up soon.
Okay.
So in here, usually this table is completely filled with peppers all the way across, but with the frost and everything, and you know,
you guys did get a frost?
We did get a frost.
Was it just a couple days ago?
Yep, exactly.
It was when I was backpacking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it frosted that first night.
It wasn't a real hard frost, and the sun came out and dried stuff out quick, but it still, you know, hurt some stuff. But yeah, usually we have a little more of an array here. We got to get some jalapenos, some snack peppers.
Plus, it's the end of the season. You know, things slow down. People kind of had their fill.
Yep, customers are starting to understand now. Over here, we don't grow sweet potatoes, which we did grow a couple in the past. We have our 10-pound bags of potatoes, Brussels, all this stuff is homegrown here. Yep. Broccoli, cabbage, tomatoes, garlic, beans, cauliflower, sweet corn.
Do you grow any of the cheddar, flame star, clementine?
We don't grow any of that. I never tried it, but people love the purple, so maybe a different color would be.
Yeah, I've found that the purple sells really well.
I've seen that. And then over here, obviously we don't grow bananas, but we have our onions, and we get local apples. We get everything local that we possibly can. So we got local apples, local pears.
Veggie Boys grow the lemons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to have some of these things out, you know, that aren't homegrown, because when you're open year round, you gotta offer some of these items.
Yeah. And so in the winter, we'll buy in like zucchini and stuff like that, just to keep the customers coming in.
Right.
In the fridge, we get local apple cider. Okay. We go to market with those guys. We try and get, like I said, everything local. The milk here is raw milk from, I think out in like Danville, it's like an hour away. Let me shut this off just so it doesn't demonetize you.
You gotta watch what music or audio is playing in the background when you're filming YouTube videos, because you can get demonetized if you're not careful. All right, moving over here to the other side.
So then over here is the baking area.
Okay.
You can see Jill has a ton of muffins here. Jill, what kind of muffins do you have going on?
Pumpkin cream cheese, black bottom, peach, cranberry, blueberry.
These are the big hit now, the pumpkin spice ones.
Yeah.
Man, those are beautiful.
As you can see, we're very low right now.
Just getting it back.
Yeah, and then here we make our hoagies, and then we have our deli case where we have, you know, assorted meats and cheeses.
Yep. Will I be able to come in here and have lunch today?
Yes, absolutely.
Little seating area.
And then yeah, over here is just all of, you know, the snacks, the goodies. And then, you know, other just baking supplies. A lot of stuff.
Where do you get your maple syrup? Because we produce maple syrup on our farm. I find that interesting.
The maple syrup is that say Lox. Yes, from Lox. It's not too far away. We get it. They bring it to us at the farmers market, like the actual owners do.
Okay.
And then you know we just bring it in here.
Oh, that's nice.
Basically, everything we try and carry is just different than what like a regular grocery store would have.
Right.
That way, you know, it's something special from us. So then over here is just a lot of the same, just different stuff that you wouldn't find in the regular grocery stores. And then we don't obviously make this. Sometimes we get questions of, you know, oh, you make your own syrups, you make your own jams. I wish we had that kind of time. We don't, but it's obviously very good. We've taste tested everything. We go to shows, we try it, and then they just put our label on it. That way,
a private label.
People know
deal.
where they got it from, you know.
Well, there you go, folks. A look at Broyans Farm Market. All right, Logan's gonna hop in the box truck. I'm gonna follow him over to their farm in my pickup truck, and we're gonna take a look at everything else they have over there where their greenhouses are at. All right, all suited up to go help Logan pick some broccoli.
First off here is the pepper field. Like I said, I don't see much damage here with the frost. Maybe a
Yeah, it must have been a really light frost.
Yeah.
I can see a little bit of the leaf curl over here.
Yeah.
But if it was a heavy frost, almost like a freeze, those things would be
We have so many peppers on right now.
Yeah.
It's a
Are they
shame.
staying solid? When mine turn red and they're lacking water, they get soft real quick.
We watered it a lot, but yeah, they're still getting soft. The green ones are real nice.
Yeah, you guys have a ton of peppers, my goodness.
This is all the early season in the plastic. And then this is what we call the big field, which is basically everything and a little more of the same.
I've always wondered, you have a curve to your field. Do you do that intentionally, or is your property line curved up here already?
No, that's for water.
Okay.
Yeah, that always said if it was straight, he said we'd have way
You'd
more.
have way more washouts. Yeah. Helps shed the water better.
Yeah. And it's amazing with how dry it is, how good the peppers did. We thought they wouldn't do very good here on the hill, but they did better than we thought.
These are some long rows. You got to be pushing over 1,000 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, my longest field is 1,400 feet.
Woo!
Hold on a second, I'm going to back up. And
That's incredible how different your soil looks right here.
it's very rocky.
Yeah, it has the kind of a red tint to it, and it's really rocky.
Look how beautiful
Holy
they are.
Moses. That's a beauty. Then it's so solid and thick-walled.
Yeah.
That is a nice pepper.
They weren't proud of the peppers this year.
What do you do with the soybeans?
We just sell those.
Okay.
We don't do anything with them. Basically, Dad puts them in the ground just for crop rotation.
Right.
That's just
it helps clean the fields up really nice. We do the same thing.
Yep.
All right, here's their final patch of sweet corn. How much do you have left? Do you have even an acre left to harvest?
We have, a little over an acre left to harvest.
It looks really good for how late this is.
Yeah, like I said, the frost didn't really get it.
Yeah, being up high on the hill right here probably helps.
Yeah. This is the old strawberry field which we're about to start pulling up.
Okay.
And then this is our new berry field, which is looking pretty good.
Yeah. And I've seen your videos of you planting some of this.
We're going to fertilize one more time.
Is this keeping the deer out pretty good?
Yeah, for the most part. And then the reason these two rows didn't do real good was that was bare root planting instead of plug, and they just couldn't handle the heat.
Too dry. Yeah.
And this is potatoes, which have got to get mowed off.
So you just have a couple rows of potatoes left?
We have, right here is 2 rows of Norwis, which is a yellow potato. And then right in the middle there is 6 more rows of white Evas.
Yep.
And then on the far side next to the berries is dark red Norland. We have 2 more rows left of those.
Okay.
And then all this now is basically going to go into storage for the winter to sell at the farm market.
Right, okay. And this is the corn.
This is field corn.
Yeah, you'll be shelling this, put in your grain bin to sell in bags.
Exactly, yep. 50-pound bags.
How long have you been doing that?
Just about ever since we opened that market up around 15 years ago.
Almost 15 years ago.
Yep.
And you're able to sell all that. Well, how many acres is it?
I think we do around 30 acres of field corn.
Is that right?
Yep.
And it probably fills that bin up, doesn't it?
It fills the bin almost perfect every single year, as long as we have a good crop.
Yeah.
And we started out doing 30 bags every 2 weeks. Then we moved to 30 bags every week. and now we're up to like 70, 75 bags a
Wow,
week.
you've built up a good following
Yeah.
with that corn.
Yep.
Then. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really
I'm
taken
sure you're
off.
getting a lot better prices than taking it to market, getting
Oh,
350
for sure,
a
yeah.
bushel or whatever it is now.
This is one of our pumpkin fields.
Okay. Looks like they got nipped just a little bit by the frost.
Yeah, they got hit harder on the other side of the field, you know.
Just look at that beautiful country out there. Man, that's amazing.
This is our old onion field, which is like basically weeds now.
All right, we're coming up on their cold crops up here, their brassicas. Daisy's coming along.
We weren't sure how this field was going to do with the deer. The deer just, they come right out of those woods and they hammer everything. But honestly, they didn't
They look really nice.
pose much of a problem, yeah.
Well, right off the bat, one of the first things I'm noticing, which I already noticed when I was watching his videos, they have a really clean cold crop. There's not really a weed to speak of out here. And they're doing a really good job of controlling the insects. That can be really tough sometimes. We had a horrific year controlling the bugs in our cold crops.
Yeah,
These just look immaculate, and they obviously know what they're doing when it comes to controlling the insects, the weeds, and feeding them right, because these look very healthy.
Yeah, water, I would say that when this patch was the biggest thing, we were watering like as much as our pond could take.
Yeah. Where's the pond at? You were watering
The
from?
pond is
Okay,
straight up the
I
hill.
saw it up there,
We
yeah.
have underground irrigation lines that go to different points of the farm. So
Okay.
right at the corner of that woods over there,
Yeah.
one comes out, we run the irrigation down, and then, you know, straight through the field. We had 2 passes going through for the tomatoes, but then we took that out as soon as they were done, and now it's just
Okay.
cold crops. Which
Yeah, that was one of the things I was kind of interested in talking with your dad about, you know, hearing his story about how, because he a dairy farmer at one time, or there
Yeah.
was a dairy farm here and
Yep, it was my
transitioned to vegetables.
Yeah, my great-grandfather started with dairy cows, and then my grandfather took it over, and then my dad took it over in about 2000. He decided that they wanted to get into veggies, and they decided that it was just way more profitable. It got to the point to where, you know, you just couldn't do it on dairy cattle. So they sold the herd, and then we just went full bore into the farm market and all the veggies.
And that was around early 2000s?
Somewhere, yeah, right around 2000. I think they sold them in like 1999, 1998, something like that.
Real similar to us.
Yeah.
Yep. We sold our dairy in 2001, and you know, it was a good time for several reasons. My dad was 53 at the time. I was 28. So I had just graduated, you know, I'd been out of from the Ohio State University for just a couple years, farming full time. And, you know, we either had to go big or get out, because there wasn't a lot of margin left there in dairy farming. And in 2001, there was a lot of big Dutch dairies moving into the Ohio area and kind of buying up all these small farms to make these big 1,000 and 2,000 cow dairies. Ours was about 80 to 100 head. And so heifer prices and cow prices were sky high in 2001. It was a perfect time to exit. And I'd already been growing sweet corn and green beans and tomatoes kind of on the side to make extra income all through college and after college. And people kept asking for more and more of this and that. And I just kept expanding a little bit at a time. You know, before I knew it, I was growing 80 acres of vegetables. So it was a good time to get out of the dairy. And, you know, that's why I was wanting to meet his dad. What's your dad's name? I forget.
Fran.
Fran, okay.
Yeah.
I was wanting to meet Fran to kind of hear his story. Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, I'd love if we
Another
could see my
time.
pap riding around, because he could talk to you for hours and hours and just tell you every single little detail about the farm.
Yeah, I just wanted to hear the process of starting from nothing.
Yeah.
To even like you said, you had buried water lines over here. That kind of thing's interesting to me. You know, did it take him 5 years into it to realize he needed to do that?
Yeah, and
to
now
be more efficient.
Our next thing is I'm really pushing for is a water reel. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Where you
yeah.
can drag it out, and then, because when you have different patches all over the place, we only have so much irrigation pipe. So, and it's hard to get helpers. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And so if we can do it with just me and Dad hauling stuff around and pull it out, that's the way to go.
For sure.
And then you don't have to pick it all up at the end of the season, mowing and, you know, that kind of stuff.
That was one of the biggest things I hated about strawberries. I grew strawberries since 1999.
Oh, really?
20 years I've grown strawberries, and I got tired of it was getting harder and harder to find enough kids to pick them.
Yep.
And I didn't. I was always losing half of them to frost. I started using row covers too.
Yep.
But we would drain our pond if we had a real bad frost
Yeah.
event coming.
Yep.
So yeah, I just had enough of it.
Yeah. You know, ever want to do pick your own?
We did. We were
you?
about 15% pick your own, but that kept going downhill. Yeah, I think we got out of strawberries in like 2019. So it was before COVID. When was COVID?
I think 2020.
2020 is kind of the main year for
Right
it.
around there.
So I know after COVID, it was probably would have been a good time to be in strawberries because more people were getting into homesteading and
noticed-
freezing and producing their own food instead of relying on grocery stores because of all the cleaned out shelves during COVID. So a lot of reasons, but when we got out, we had about 15% pick your own, so it wasn't that
Gotcha.
big.
How many were you growing?
Normally 3 to 4 acres, and we peaked at 7.
Gotcha.
For, just a couple
That's right.
years.
Yeah, we'll have 6 acres when we have them
Okay.
overlapping, and then
That's quite a bit.
yeah.
We were mainly matted row, but we went to plastic culture the last few years. Like
I don't know how we could do it in matted row with the weeds.
It's a weedy mess.
Yep. it's hard to keep them down just in the plastic, but
All right, we got some beautiful broccoli out here. Let's get some harvested.
yes. When we're picking, we always try and cut it about as short as possible because we want to get the shoots after when they regrow, and then we take almost every leaf off just because we think it looks the prettiest that way.
Yeah. And I don't think most people want that big stalk anyway.
Exactly, yeah,
we
what
cut
are-
ours a little bit longer, but
Yeah.
they're
These
just
are-
going to cut that stalk and throw it out most of the times anyway.
Yep. This is about as mature as we'll go. We try not to let any get too
Yeah,
far
you can
gone.
see some of the florets are starting to spread out, and
Yep.
it's not as
Huge, it's beautiful. You'd hate to waste that.
Oh, I know. That's a beautiful head of broccoli still.
Okay. Here. But then on the other hand, something like this, we'll let go.
Yeah, that one
A
needs a
little
couple more
longer.
days, maybe
Yep.
even a week before it's ready.
Yep.
It'll look like this. That little head will look like this one by next week.
And it grows fast.
Oh yeah, it loves this cool weather.
This cool wet weather is cold crop's favorite.
I feel like I'm back home on the farm. All right, we are done with broccoli. We're gonna get a few heads of cauliflower to take back to the market. Starting off with some white. Do you happen to know any of the varieties? I know I always forget which is which.
I know. White sails, I know for certain. These 3 or 4 varieties right here are all the same. And then
Okay.
you can kind of see the head changes. These are more of like a cone-shaped head.
Yep.
And then these here are a different one, which I don't remember.
Yeah, and this is even different over
Yep,
here.
that's another one. Twister. There's
Twister, yep. Twister's a good one we grow.
Twister, white sails, and I can't think of the other 1 or 2 we have.
Okay.
And then obviously purple is the
purple, yeah. Now, those of you who've been following me closely, picking my cauliflower, I talk about how important it is to have good wrapper leaves. And the genetics are so good in cauliflower these days, they have such tight wrapper leaves, it's no longer needed to pull and gather the leaves up to wrap them with rubber bands or strings. As you can see here,
I was gonna ask if you rubber banded
yeah,
yours.
not anymore. The sun is starting to get to these, but not bad. They're still white, but they're starting to get that creamy or yellow white color to them because the sunshine has been hitting them, because now that the heads are big, they've opened up, pushed open those wrapper leaves, and they're exposed to the sunlight. But fortunately, these cloudy days does not affect them that much, but I'm sure we're gonna have some sun here coming up next week. So you'll have to get a lot of these harvested, I bet.
We're gonna call some farmers and see if we can wholesale some, just because there's no way we can sell this much
Yeah, this is a lot.
at a farm market. That's the nice thing about living right next to our cousins here who farm, because sometimes if we run short or if we're in between patches, we interswitch.
Yep, that's great. So we both grow the same variety of purple, the purple. And we both grow Twister, which is one of these over here. I can't remember the other 4 varieties that I grow. I always forget them all. Sierra Madre is a good one.
I know for cabbage we do Cheers, we do
Yep.
Gunma, We do Savoy King, and that's about it for our late planting, maybe Bravo.
Okay. Yep, I've grown Cheers many times in the past.
Cheers is our biggest, nicest heads. Being on the upper side of the field with the lack of rain, and these were a little bit smaller up on this end.
This is the Savoy.
That's Savoy.
It's almost like a flat, more ribby looking leaf.
They say it's a sweeter leaf. They like that more
Okay.
for like piggies.
These are beautiful. This is Cheers.
This is Cheers, yep. Like
Yeah.
that's what we're looking for
That
in,
is a nice
in the
head
later
cabbage.
season. Pretty.
Yes, it is. So Logan, how long have you been doing this? Has it been since the day you could walk?
Basically, yes, since I can remember. Really, I started like when I really started getting into it was I was probably about 8 or 9. I was heading to market,
Okay.
and I started out going to market almost every day that market was going on.
Yeah.
And now my dad has kind of taken over that role, and I'm here
Okay.
doing a lot of the picking, packing.
Do you like that change?
I like being on the farm a lot more than going to markets.
So I went to farmers markets myself personally for at least 15 years, almost 20 years, but in the past 4 to 5, I found that I have to be back at the farm to make sure all the trucks get loaded right, put out fires like a truck breakdown, a flat tire, you know, because we're doing so many farmers markets. Someone has to be at the farm in case of an emergency to take care of that emergency. And if I'm stuck at a farmers market in Columbus, a lot of times I don't have anybody around to help. And to be honest with you, I kind of got tired of doing farmers markets. It's a lot of work, but they're very profitable for us. So we're out in our first planting of tomatoes, and I want to show you guys what happens after a frost. Now, to many of you, you're going to think there's a lot of beautiful tomatoes out here that can be harvested, but if you get down and look at them close, a lot of them have nicks, scratches, blemishes, you know, sunken spots on them. Logan's pick one up and show them what I'm talking about. You know, some of these tomatoes might look good
You look
at a
good.
distance until you
look at it like
close.
that and think, wow, that's nice. And then you turn it over and
see,
it's
just nasty.
It's no good.
It wouldn't even be worth our time to come and pick all these up and try to box them and take them to a food bank even. I mean, they would spoil on the way there. So, you know, I get that question a lot. Why am I wasting all these tomatoes?
Oh,
There's just
yep.
so many. You need to plant more than you can harvest, because as a fresh market growers that are selling direct to consumer, you know, we want a perfect #1 product. We want a fresh market tomato that's going to be red, ripe, ready for sale. And in order to always have plenty of #1s, we got to grow more than we can harvest. Yes, we would like to have this patch and my patch cleaned up better than what it is, but it's just the nature of produce farming. You're going to have some waste after harvest, and more than you can harvest sometimes. And then when a frost hits, you know, they're pretty much done. But he does have a second planting just like me, and we're going to go up and take a look at that next.
You can see the deer here. The deer ruined these in the beginning. We didn't know if we were going to get any kind of harvest off of them. Like they just nipped everything, but you know, tomatoes, they just keep growing, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, these
we
are
ended
all deer prints.
Yep,
You
we
definitely got a deer problem.
we ended up getting something, but they left the cold crops alone, so that was that was a
good.
big deal.
So a lot of dead tomato plants out here, but it is the middle of October. This is what you would expect to see.
So this is where all the water comes from,
Yep.
and then the lines go underneath the ground and they shoot up to different parts of the farm.
Okay.
And then we just cover our irrigation pump so it doesn't get wet.
Right.
And then in here, this is our potato storage.
Potato storage. All right. I can't
Under-
wait to see this.
Under the ground, keeps them cool.
Yeah.
In the winter, we'll just put like a 1-burn heater in here.
What do you like to keep the temperature at for these potatoes? What's ideal?
We definitely between like 38 and like 45, something around there. Now this time of the year, you know, it's a little warmer, but the warmer they are, then they're gonna start sprouting, especially the reds.
Yeah. Man, those are beautiful.
Yep, they're reds. These are Norwest. You can see, you can tell a Norwest potato by it's got like the different indentations in it.
Okay.
And then I can't get to the back there, but back there is the Evas, the nice white potatoes. On a great year, we'll have these bins stacked 3 high all the way to the back.
Wow.
And that's a lot. This year, we'll probably have them stacked 2 high, maybe a couple 3s back to the door.
Okay.
Which that's manageable. That's we can sell that at our farm market over the fall and
Nice.
the winter.
Yeah, I feel like this is something that you need to have if you're going to run a year-round market.
Yep.
But since even when we grew pumpkins, you know, we closed our farm down October 31st, you know, Halloween.
Yep.
So I would have had a lot of potatoes left over still.
Yeah.
Unless I just grew a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, here's their plastic mulch layer. Also lays the drip tape by Rainflow. It's the same brand I have, but this is one of the newest models, model 480. Mine is a 2550 that was manufactured over 25 years ago.
Oh, really?
My serial number is the first 400 units ever made.
Really?
Yeah, but it still works great. You know, I added the auto road track. They got way more hydraulics than I do, but I have something similar like this. Mine doesn't have all these bells and whistles, but mine will track behind the tractor with a little wheel that rolls across the top of the plastic.
This right here?
Yep, just like that, but not as beefy and large as that one.
This one even has, I don't know if yours has, it has the, you pull the lever and it's supposed to cut the plastic, but that doesn't seem to work very well. Kind of rips it and, you know, pulls it more than anything.
Yeah.
But it's a cool feature.
Yeah. And these discs, holy moly, that probably comes in handy on your hard rocky soils.
Oh yeah, they really gather the soil.
So I guess mine has these same mold boards. They're just a little longer. They go further back and they're a little longer. And then it's got inner bed fillers. It's got another set of these.
I did see that on the other units.
And the reason mine has that is because if you don't have your soil plowed deep enough and soft and fluffy, sometimes you'll have a low spot in the center of your bed. And those inner bed fillers help fill that bed nice and tight.
Yep. Yeah, that's another thing on the inside here. If you want to get that bed fuller, you turn these handles to get more crown, less soil, more soil, higher bed, lower bed, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, mine doesn't have the crown option, so that's a nice feature. All right, we're gonna head in here and check out the garlic.
This is the feed grinder for the cows.
Okay.
It's a little dark in here. There's about one light bulb in this entire upstairs.
I have a light in my truck, but I'm not gonna go get it, so folks, bear with me.
Some onions.
We got some yellow candy onion, type?
I think that's sweet Spanish. Back here is all the candy.
Okay.
And then we have the red and white. All these shelves, or most of these shelves, did have garlic on it.
That was all full of garlic, and they're down to just the ones they're saving for themselves to plant.
Yeah, most of that's going to be after we get them cut, and then we're going to figure out which ones we want. We like to get the more big, nice, you know, pretty ones for planting, just for better genes.
Yeah.
And then all this whole room, every table in here was filled with garlic.
Yep, I remember seeing that.
And then now we're down to these baskets here, which this is all like #1 garlic just for planting.
Beautiful. This is my first year using the red baskets.
Really?
I saw you and Veggie Boys using them last year, and I was like, you know what? I'm done buying wood bushel baskets.
Oh, wooden ones. We have so many wooden ones.
So these are really handy. I like the little lip for carrying. But we still dump them into our big 1 3/4 bushel sweet corn lugs.
Gotcha. And then
stacking.
They also have the green ones too. I don't know if you've seen the green ones. They're like, I don't know if that's a 5/8 bushel.
Oh, that we put broccoli in? Or something different?
No, it's like this is a 5/8 bushel here, but they have a green one that looks just like this, except it's a little bit bigger.
Gotcha.
And it's got a little bit bigger bottom on it.
Okay. Mainly just the broccoli?
Just the broccoli, we'll put on the pallet.
You try to get 6 on there? I'm not sure how you want to.
Yeah, let's try and get 6 on there. I'll just back it right in.
All right, so here's their walk-in cooler. I don't know how big that is.
I couldn't tell you.
Almost a 20 by 20, I'm not sure. Maybe not quite.
Probably, yeah, a little smaller maybe.
Yeah. All you know is it's not big enough. It's never big enough. I wish I had one that I could drive my forklift into.
Oh, that would be really nice.
So this is inside their cooler. Those of you who watch Broyans channel have seen this many times.
Everything's in here for market.
And you got Scranton tomorrow?
Scranton's tomorrow. Scranton's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then we go to one farmer's market on Thursday, which is in Wilkes-Barre.
Okay. All right, these are their 2 washers they have. This one, mine kind of looks like this, but it's set up like that with the round table at the end. This is the one I'm assuming you send all your peppers and cucumbers through?
Peppers, eggplant, cucumbers, pickles, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, and then this one's mainly for potatoes?
Potatoes, red beets, onions, all the dirty stuff.
Okay. And then what do you put down here? Just another tub right on there to catch it?
Usually it's either one of these crates or it is a half bushel, one of those red baskets that you can kind of see peeking out underneath the plastic there. And almost everything we pick gets washed.
Yeah. Except melons, maybe.
Besides melons, no melons get washed, and we try not to wash tomatoes.
Yeah, tomatoes, I mean, you can put them through there just like eggplant for us. I don't like to put eggplant through there or tomatoes. They usually look all right when they come through, but after they've sat for a couple days, you start seeing the maybe little brush marks on them a little bit. It's too much risk for them to get damaged. But we were just discussing off camera how expensive these things are. You know, I was fortunate when I got mine 20 some years ago. It was an Amish built knockoff, like these, I always call them twos, but it's TEWs. You know, they're like, what do these things cost now?
They're 10 or 12,000.
10 or 12,000
for a full
bucks?
stainless steel.
For stainless steel, you know, I got mine for $2,500 20 years ago. So hopefully I don't have to upgrade that. That's an expensive upgrade.
Yeah. And I don't know, we have a lot softer bristles in this one for the softer stuff, and these are a lot harder bristles for like potatoes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can feel
Yeah, that feels more like mine.
Yeah.
That's probably why it tears up my eggplant and
Maybe.
tomatoes
Yeah, I was
so
gonna say, because
much.
we never have an issue with eggplant because they're like very soft.
Okay, cool. All right, we are out in planting number 2. This is their plum tomatoes. I call them the Roma tomatoes. And I can see that they just slightly got nipped by the frost. But Logan, I gotta ask you, why do you and the Veggie Boys not use tomato stakes and stringing these up with the Florida weave system?
We used to, but the first 3 years we did it, we had hailstorms, we had high windstorms, and just plainly getting the people to come and, you know, and weave them up for us. When you're doing 1,000-foot rows, it was hard. It's backbreaking. It's hard work.
It's a lot of work.
And so we just went back to doing it regularly on the plastic, and they don't seem to do bad, but I would definitely prefer them to be on a stake, yes.
For me, they're cleaner, less likely to get mud splash up or rotten spots where they touch the dirt, bugs, worms, whatever it might be. But yeah, there's a trade-off. You're not having to go through the time-consuming process of driving the stakes, stringing them up, and then taking it all out. We just finished that last week. That's a big job too.
That's a big job.
So I guess if this is working for you, why not do it?
Yeah, we just grow a little more because we know we're going to lose,
Yeah.
and we don't usually have an issue of running out. But you can see down here, like there's really nice clusters.
Really nice looking. You're starting to see some of these blowouts, these splits from the rains.
With the rain, yep.
That happens. And then part of it's also because the plant health is declining. There's nothing there to photosynthesize anymore. So they're pumping that water right into the fruit.
Yep.
And this time of year, you know, everybody starts fighting weeds. It's just what happens.
Nothing you're going to do about a weed this time of year.
Nope. So you plan on picking a lot of tomatoes out of here yet for the next couple weeks, hopefully?
Yeah, especially if they're going to call for a frost, we'll come in, we'll pick, you know, 10, 15, 20 baskets, at least just so we have for the next, you know, couple days.
Yeah.
But as of right now, the rain's kind of done for the week. There's no threat of frost, and so we're just going to pick them as we need them, keep them fresh.
So in our area of Ohio, when people want canning tomatoes, they want red rounds.
Really?
They only want plum Roma tomatoes for canning sauce.
Gotcha.
So I've noticed at Veggie Boys, they're always picking a lot of these plum tomatoes, as you are.
Yep.
I've never had anybody say they want canning tomatoes as a Roma.
Really?
Only red rounds.
Everybody says it's a meteor tomato.
It is.
Yep, and that's what they prefer.
I think Ohio's, forget what I was gonna say.
I do that all the time.
Well, I think they know what they're doing here in Pennsylvania. Ohio, screw it, I don't know what I was trying to say. I never did ask you how many acres you're farming right now.
We farm we have 100 acres of our own. Then we farm about another 30 acres off the farm.
Okay.
About 40, 50 acres are veggies. And then we have assorted grain crops as far as soybeans, oats, we do hay, and field corn.
Okay. What would you say is your favorite thing to do? Harvest. What's your favorite crop to harvest on the farm and grow?
My favorite crop to harvest is probably cauliflower. Absolutely love it. I love snipping the leaves off. That's probably my favorite.
And which one do you despise?
Ooh. There's quite a few though. It depends on how much I'm harvesting it. In a certain time period, you get really tired of it. I would say cherry peppers is probably the worst.
Okay.
They're so tiny, it takes forever to fill up a basket.
Yep, for sure. All right, we're heading over to take a look at the greenhouses next. High tunnels. All right, we're here at the high tunnels. You call these high tunnels, not greenhouses?
Well, we call these our greenhouses. Okay. High tunnels I consider for the tomatoes.
Right, but they're double poly.
Yes.
Okay, so usually I consider a double poly system a greenhouse.
Yeah, I guess for some reason in my brain, I consider tomatoes high tunnels. I don't know why, that's just what I do. So in here, this is where we start everything. Actually, right here is where everything gets started. In the
I like this. I need to do something like this on
in
my
the
farm.
seed room. We'll have heat mats there.
Yep.
On the installation.
That's awesome.
And then everything will get brought out here, and well, if it's hanging baskets, we'll hang it. Sometimes we'll put it on the drippers, or we'll just set it on the tables and water it by hand.
I like your heater set up here, how you can blow the air all in different directions.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah, these were actually not started by us. Our cousin started these greenhouses, and then about 3-4 years ago, he got out of it, and then we took it over.
Okay.
Which just makes it convenient, you know, for everything we grow in the fields.
Right. So while we're walking down the other greenhouse, have you noticed any kind of trends up or down in any aspects of vegetable farming or the farmers market sales, what people are wanting or not wanting? Are you noticing any downward trends or upward trends? Or you think everything's kind of holding steady?
I would say when COVID hit, everything just flew through the roof. It didn't matter what it was, people wanted it because it was homegrown. They knew where it was coming from. Mm-hmm. Then I would say it kind of went downhill a little bit. Things kind of went back to normal. As far as, you know, certain crops, some selling better than others, sweet corn has basically always been our biggest seller, whether it's at home or any of the fresh markets we go to. I would say like the big three things are tomatoes, sweet corn, and well, cantaloupe and watermelon. So I guess four things. That's our biggest. And then, you know, everything else just fills in the gaps as far as peppers, potatoes, eggplant, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Is that?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Everything took a big hit during the pandemic. A lot of farmers markets shut down, or they moved to different locations and had everybody spread out. We had one farmers market where we actually had to have a drive-through.
Really?
We were in this massive parking lot at some historic museum parking lot in Columbus, Ohio. And everybody was spaced really far apart, and the cars drove around. They had placed their orders ahead of time on some site online, some platform on our computers, and we would tally up all those orders, you know, at our office, put those orders together in our barns, and then the customers would drive by, show us their order number, and we would hand them their bag. Actually, sometimes we would put their bag in their back seat or in their trunk, so there was no contact. It was crazy. But yeah, things kind of bounced back. And for us, I would say tomatoes, sweet tomatoes are our biggest seller because we have hydroponic tomatoes in 4 greenhouses. And then next would be sweet corn, green beans, cantaloupe, and watermelon, probably at the top.
I would say our high tunnels do about the same every year. I wouldn't consider us expert high tunnel growers. We're still always learning, just like everything. But I was going to ask you a question and see if you could figure out what the yellowing is.
Oh boy, you call it yellow shoulder?
Yep. We have that more in the hot heat of the summer. We'll put a shade cloth on. We thought that came from maybe too much heat because it kind of levels out now in the cooler and it's fine in the beginning. But I didn't know if that was something you could answer or if you had that.
I've always heard that if it's not the heat, because I think the heat is part of it.
Was it calcium or?
It's potassium.
Potassium, that's what, yes.
And it's not necessarily, just like blossom end rot, it doesn't necessarily mean you have a calcium deficiency. It just means the plant is unable to take up and move that calcium through the plant like it's supposed to.
Gotcha.
So maybe the heat has something to do with the inability of the potassium to be taken up by the plant and used properly in the fruit. That's my guess.
Yeah, because we'll do a soil sample and everything seems to be, you know, the way it should be. But it just seems when it gets to be that hot, real hot heat of the summer is when we notice it the worst.
But things really still look good in here for as late as it is. I can't believe it.
Yeah, Mom just fertilized them about a week ago, and we're still getting some really nice, well, I picked some of the nicest ones off earlier today.
It goes to show you that if you take care of your plants by feeding them properly, and you're gonna have to keep them sprayed to control some of the insects that can outbreak in a greenhouse. It just goes to show you that you can have a crop of tomatoes all season long, even beyond frost.
Yep,
this is incredible.
We'll keep these going as long as we can until we know we're going to get a real hard frost that's going to even hurt them in here, and then we'll come through and clean literally everything, from a golf ball up, and we'll just sell them accordingly.
How long have you been doing the YouTube thing?
I think we're going on 4 years.
4 years.
4 or 5 years. It becomes a blur after so many seasons.
What would you say you like about it most?
About YouTube, just in general?
Making videos. And
I love the fact that I can tell people at our farmers markets, or people come up to me and tell me how they never realized what we do on the farm. Like they didn't know that much work went into whatever we're picking, whatever we're harvesting.
say is the worst part of being a YouTuber on a vegetable farm?
As much as people may not believe it, it's late nights. It's not really long days. You're filming while you're working. So I try and maximize, you know, putting cameras where I can work as much as possible without needing to move stuff. But you know, you go home 10, 11 o'clock at night, you're making videos just to get it uploaded for the next day. I mean, it's a lot of editing, it's a lot of time, but it's worth it, you know, when people come up and talk to you about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes.
Yes.
With a vegetable YouTuber that a lot of people don't know about, but I find it to be pretty rewarding, even though it is a little extra work.
Yeah, there's nothing better than going out somewhere in public and somebody coming up to you and saying they loved your last video, or, you know, they seen you harvesting this, so they came to your market just to get that. You know what I mean? It means the world.
Well, Logan, it was nice meeting you, and I appreciate you letting me come by and ride around with you here on the farm. I had a good time. Glad I got to harvest some broccoli with you. If you guys have not seen the live stream yet, it probably was live a week before you're watching this right now. I don't know for sure right now sitting here. We haven't gone live yet, obviously, but we're planning to go live tonight, do a live stream, and we're trying to get Andrew from the Veggie Boys to join us. So if you haven't seen that live stream yet, check it out. I'll put the link down below in the description box. Well, I'm actually heading over to the Veggie Boys now, so appreciate you showing me around, Logan.
No
Had
problem.
a good time. Folks, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you all again next time down on the farm.